Hi, I'm Tim Scales, the Director of the Center for Entrepreneurship here at Indiana University East. I'm the host of the television show In Your Business, and today we're going to meet with an interesting entrepreneur. She's fairly new to business, but she's enjoying her passion.
Tim.
Yes, sir?
Remember that hiccup that I did in the very first beginning?
You did it again?
First one, I did the exact same thing. Can you believe that?
Yes.
I think I know why I did it now. Okay. So, sorry, but can we back up a little bit and do it again?
No.
Okay. Stand by.
We never have to redo anything.
Oh, no.
Today we've had to redo twice.
Oh, goodness. As long as we don't have to do the whole 30 minutes.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen.
It's always in the first few seconds that I make my mistakes, so
Yeah.
we'll get it done here. Stand by.
Hi, I'm Tim Scales, the Director of the Center for Entrepreneurship here at Indiana University East. I'm also the host of the television show In Your Business. Today we're going to meet with an entrepreneur that's fairly new to business, but she's following her passion. And her passion is basically the bakery business. She makes cookies. So Casey's Cookies,
Yes.
And you're Casey.
Yes, I am Casey.
So, Casey, welcome to the show. It's going to be
Thank
a
you.
fun interview. We're going to get to know a little bit about you, find out about the business, find out about how you started, why you started, and just a little bit about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, we'll start the show and I'll ask you a couple questions about basically when you were growing up. You know, each of us as we grow up, we have different things we want to do. You know, maybe you wanted to be a nurse, maybe you wanted to be a barber, you could have wanted to be in technology, but tell us about as you were growing up. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Paris, Ohio. Was born in Richmond, and I live here currently. But I grew up in New Paris and went to National Trail High School.
Okay.
And I have a brother and, well, two brothers and two sisters.
Okay.
So, yeah, and
So as you were growing up, though, you had to have an idea of what you wanted to do. What did you want to be when you grew up?
you know, when I was a kid, I really didn't worry about those things. I never really thought, oh, I want to be this or that. I just wanted to be a kid and play. I knew that I always wanted to be a mom. Like, that was a big deal to me. I wanted to be married and have kids and raise my family. And but I always struggled with this, like, feeling like I had to have something, one thing to do, like, because there's so many different things that I'm interested in and I enjoy. But my last 2 years of high school, I went to Miami Valley Career Technology Center, and I did floriculture there. So I learned how to do flowers and design, and I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. It was a great experience there. And so when I left there, I ended up getting a job at Flowers by Carla and did that. But the pay, you know, the only way you're going to make a lot of money doing flowers is if you have your own business. And I wasn't really interested in that at the time. And so I went and I switched jobs. I went to Reed Hospital and worked there. And then I had my first child, Elena. I have 2 girls and a boy.
Okay.
And as soon as I had my first daughter, I quit my job. And I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So that's what I've been doing ever since. She's 10 years old, going to be 11 in October. And I had to learn, like everybody else, how to cook and everything else, you know, when I got married. And then I got into baking, and I just really, really loved it. It was so much fun. I just got so much joy out of it. And I loved trying new recipes and just making something and giving it to someone and the joy on their face. And they just really just making someone's day, making them happy. And so for a long time, I would bake cookies and I would just give them away because I wanted to bake and I didn't want to eat them all, you know, because that's not really good to sit and eat cookies all day. So I would just bake things and then I would give them to friends and family and things. And over the years, I've had people say, you know, you really should sell your cookies. You really should do this. And I was just like, oh, I'm not ready for any of that yet. And then I just decided one day that it would be nice to have some extra income because, you know, my husband's the only one that works in the house.
Okay.
And so I just went to the store one day and I thought, okay, I'm just going to buy some packaging and make up a menu and just plan it all out and just see what happens. And so I put it on Facebook to my friends and family that I was going to start selling my cookies. And it just kind of blew up really quickly. Everybody was really excited that I was going to be selling my cookies. So I started that in August of last year. And it's been going really well, selling to friends and family. And then I decided that I wanted to take it the next step and I would try to do the farmer's market. And so 2 weeks ago, I went to the farmer's market and I wanted to make my display stand out. I wanted everything I do, I want it to be memorable. I want it to be something that is different than what everybody else has. You know, I wanted to make something that people would say, oh, I know who that is. I know whose cookies those are. And so when I went to the farmer's market, I did really well. I sold out by 11 o'clock. So my first time, so it was really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to the next time I go. I've had people tell me that day, they're like, you should start a bakery, you know, and stuff. So, but I'm like, I'm not ready for that. But I just want to take things one step at a time and just grow and learn with the business.
Sure. Well, you're very entrepreneurial. There's no question, because just hearing your story, I can tell you're very passionate about it.
Yes.
And you get excited telling your story. So I think that means you're doing the right things. Now, so as you're growing up, you had siblings. You really just enjoyed yourself and your family, and you're still doing that. You went and got specialized in floral design. You tried that. You enjoyed it, but it wasn't necessarily fulfilling everything.
Right.
And that's what we have to understand in entrepreneurship is sometimes we're doing something we're just not quite connected with. And it's not about money always.
Right.
It's about, you know, enjoying the passion and what you're involved in. You went from that, you took a job, then you actually became what you've been wanting, and that was to be a mother.
Yes.
And so you found that that's really what you enjoy in life is being a parent, and that's great. Then the entrepreneurship started coming back around.
Yes.
That's when you got into the cookie business. And I already know the answer to this question, I believe. I could predict it and write it down. But what is the happiest moment in being an entrepreneur? What really gets you excited?
To see the smile on people's faces when they eat my cookie for the first time, and just to see the reaction of just pure enjoyment. I mean, that's what I want from people. I want them to enjoy and to gain. I want them to like what I'm doing. But it makes me happy to see other people happy and to enjoy something I'm making. And, you know, like I do birthday parties and graduations and they get so excitement, just the excitement that they're getting these cookies, the people. And that makes me feel good that I'm doing something that's really, you know, it's something special.
Sure.
You know?
And it shows.
Yeah.
And that's a great answer because basically you care for people.
Yes.
And so that's what you want to do. You're going to have to make money. I mean, you know, in business, that's the way it is. We have
That's
to.
been a learning process too.
Oh, a lot of times it is.
Yes.
It's you know, baking is almost like being an artist.
Right.
I mean, you have time in there, you have ingredients in there, you have packaging in there, you have all this stuff in there.
Yes.
And sometimes we forget about our time.
Yes.
So that's complicated.
When I first decided I was going to do this, I didn't really have a plan per se on how I was going to do everything. I just kind of threw myself out there. It's kind of like jump in the water and learn how to swim.
Sure.
You know, so I wasn't when I first put out how much I was going to charge. I was like, I don't know what to charge. I had no idea, and I said something, and after about a month of that, I realized, oh, I'm not making a dime.
Oh, no.
I was losing money, and I was like, this is not good, okay? So I'm going to have to sit down, and I'm going to have to actually figure out every recipe, how much it costs me to make, how much, I'm putting into the packaging and all of that. And so now, I mean, it's still, this gamble of trying to figure out exactly where to be, but I think I've got it pretty good now, my prices. But this whole journey has been such a learning experience for me.
Sure.
I mean, I've tried different things, and some things have worked and some hasn't, and it's fun and exciting to learn and to see what I can do. And I've said I'm really good at the baking aspect of it. It's the business part that I'm learning.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a growing, and that's why I wouldn't right at this point, I would not be interested in doing a bakery, because I feel like that's, up here, and I'm like, here, and I want to grow with it. I don't want to just jump into something and not be prepared for it. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like every time I just want to move another step up and just progress and learn and grow with my business.
I think you're working smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, because at the university, I teach a lot about business, okay? And that's what I do. I teach about business, and business professors do that. But a lot of your learning is coming from doing business.
Right.
And there's definitely a difference between talking about it and actually doing it.
Yes.
And I mean, you do learn as you go.
Yes.
And, you've already spoken about the farmer's market. We're going to come back around to that.
Yeah.
But I know a few years ago I had some students, 2 students, who wanted to participate in something similar to the farmer's market. They didn't know what to do. They had no idea. And they anticipated hundreds of people. So they made enough product for hundreds of people. And the first day of the event, they just didn't sell.
Right.
Okay? So they were just concerned about all this extra inventory. So the next time they cut the inventory way down, and they sold out very early.
Right.
So it's one of those where there's no way to know.
Right.
You can anticipate, but you don't know.
Right.
And that becomes a part of the business, because if you overproduce, you've got to pay for that.
Right. Right.
So that's a part of it.
And that was one of the things I was doing too. I've had to figure out how I can, because a big thing for me is I want to make things fresh. I like to have fresh cookies. I don't like things that, and cookies, they're cookies. They don't last but just a few days before they start, kind of going stale on you or whatever.
I've never had that happen.
So,
but,
yeah, they go pretty, and I haven't either, but I know I've had other kinds before. So, but I use real vanilla and butter in all of my recipes.
Okay.
And it's costly. I mean, vanilla itself has doubled in price recently, and so that's been tricky trying to figure out how I can get it at the best price and still get a quality, product. But I was doing, for a while, I was doing like a cookie of the month, where every month I was doing a new cookie. And that was a lot of fun, but it was costing me a lot of money to come up with new recipes every month. And I just decided that at this time, that's not good for me, because my business needs to grow a little bit more before I can be doing something like that where I have the extra money. Starting a business costs money to start. When I first put it out there, when I first put it on Facebook that I got like 20 orders right off the bat. And I was like, I have to go to the store now and buy all this product just to make this.
Sure.
And I wasn't anticipating that. And so you've got to be prepared a little, So that's why when I did the farmer's market, I didn't want to overbake. I didn't want to have a bunch of stuff left over. So I kind of did a little less. I kind of, tried to figure out what I might be able to sell, and I think I did really well. So with that, and so now it gives me a good idea too of what to do next time, how much I need to make. So, but I've had to figure out ways that I can still preserve a product without throwing it away, you know, or wasting it, but still have fresh cookies.
Sure.
So that's been a learning process for me as well. But it's so much fun and it's exciting, and I love learning and growing, and I'm really excited, hoping to get to work with you about the business aspect and learning what my next steps are. Like I said, I just want to keep growing, and what's my next opportunity, what's my next step that I can take the business. I would eventually like to get a kitchen, you know, and get my license, and you know, be able to sell to the public and things like that, like on a bigger scale. But you know, just one thing at a time, one day at a time.
Well, I mean, you're the entrepreneur that I always look for, because
Yeah.
you're keeping it small, you're learning as you go, and you're jumping in. You're not afraid to take a
Right.
couple risks, but at the
Right.
same time, you're not betting everything.
No.
And that's
Yeah.
that's smart.
Yeah.
At the university, what I usually like to do is talk to people about everything from marketing, which is your packaging and promoting and getting the word out, also listening to people, making sure you're giving them what they want,
Right,
you know.
exactly.
But then at the same time, management, pricing, hours, all those type things. You're not having to worry about a storefront right now.
Correct.
That's actually keeping a lot of stress away from you.
Yes, it is. It
So,
is.
so you got to pick and choose. You've got to make sure that you are getting your name out there enough
Right.
that people know.
Right.
Tell me about the social media, though, because we are living in a great time
Yes.
where you no longer have to just, you know, go out and get in certain types of advertising. You can do it yourself through
Right.
social medias.
Yes, and that is how I've done all my advertising. Most, I would say 98% of it is just that. I literally started the business on Facebook. I just decided, and then I did my own Facebook group, Casey's Cookies. And I didn't know how to do it. I just figured it out, and that's just kind of what I'm doing. I'm just figuring things out as I go, but I did it. I set it up. I'm one of those people that's not really, you know, very good on computers and things like that, but I'm working on it, and I'm getting better.
Good.
So, but I set up myself a Facebook page, and it went really well, and I just keep getting more and more people wanting to join, and I post all my pictures of my cookies on there, and my menu and all that stuff. So,
Now, when you do that, though, I mean, you're opening yourself up to the world, okay?
Yeah.
Somebody in California might actually see your cookies and say, I'm going to have some of those. Are you prepared to ship?
not at this time. I can't do that right now. I'm not licensed to even do that, but I actually, one time, I tried to ship cookies to my aunt. She lives in South Carolina, and it was for her birthday, and I was going to ship her some cookies, but I would have had to do it like overnight, because cookies, you know, normal mail takes a week to deliver there. But if I wanted to ship cookies overnight to her, it was going to cost me $90.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, there's just no way. No
Yeah.
way. So I was like, well, you're not getting cookies. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not today, but when I go visit you, then I will give you some. But so I can't do that. But that's something that I would like to be able to, because I know there are cookie businesses that do that they
Right,
ship
right.
out. So I would like to learn more about that aspect of it, so that way when I get a license stuff, I can do things like that. I would love to be able to sell my cookies in like coffee shops and things like that, and
Sure.
businesses, like
Sure.
prepackaged and send stuff. That would be a lot of fun. That would be
Sure.
really neat for
Right,
me.
and I have some
So-
ideas for you, and as we work together for the
Yeah.
future, we'll
Yeah.
share those. I don't want to share them here because I don't want
Right.
to always give away all the ideas that we'll
Right.
talk about. But that's part of working together and trying to grow your business.
Yes.
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank
and,
you.
And doing it locally is
Yes.
important.
Yes, it is.
And the farmers market, I mean, I think that's a great outlet for you. And I think the key here is don't stop doing what you're doing and doing well. So you know, you said you use all fresh.
Yes.
You don't need to stop doing that so that you can ship 3 and 4 days away.
Right.
You need to continue to do what you're doing and do it well.
Right,
And if you can't
exactly.
ship it, you can't ship it.
Exactly.
But the next time people are in town, they can get it.
Now, I have a friend that she brought, her friend lives in, what did she say, England, And she came over here, and she had some of my cookies, and she wants me to ship cookies to her there. And I'm like, I don't think I could do that right now, but maybe in the future one day.
Yeah, but
but when she said when she comes back, she's definitely going to get some more.
exactly. So I mean, your cookies become a destination for where you're at. So
Right.
that's great for Richmond, Indiana.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. It's exciting, and I think that we should always support our local businesses and support our community. I mean, we live here. We want it to be a great place for us and for our children.
Right, and the way
So-
we do that is through people like yourself doing
Yeah.
local entrepreneurship. So why cookies, though? Are you doing other things, or is it just cookies?
Well, actually, at the farmer's market, I did muffins as well. Like, I just love to bake sweets, treats, and things like that. Like, anything with sugar is just good. But I made fresh blueberry muffins with a crumb topping for the farmer's market. And so that was just something a little different, because I know in the morning a lot of people want breakfast, and they're not always wanting cookies first thing in the morning. So the muffins are a good alternative for that. But a lot of people will buy the cookies in the morning and then, eat them later and take them throughout the day. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so I mean, I have lots of different recipes, but I'm also limited on what I can do at the farmer's market.
Sure.
There's a lot of rules and restrictions and things like that. One of my best cookies is a cream cheese thumbprint, and I'm not allowed to sell that at the market. So because of the icing, you cannot have any dairy that's not been cooked. So and no butter or anything, but so that kind of stinks. And that's one of the things I would like to see, how I could get that to the public, because it's such a great cookie. I mean,
Sure.
I really believe in the cookie, and I'd like to be able to have other people enjoy it as well. So
basically, then people are not going to be buying that particular
Right.
cookie at the market,
Right.
but they can contact you and buy that cookie.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you have to just know where you can
Right.
bring things to the market. I mean,
yes,
and then let people spread the word for you. I think it's great.
yes,
Now, when it came to packaging, let's talk about that, because you've got a product. It's very much going to have to be recommended by other people. But when you do present it, you want to make sure that people are like, "Oh,
Right.
this is nice. This is more than just a cookie. This
Right.
is Casey's cookies."
Exactly.
And so tell me about how you're getting that impression. Casey's cookies packaging.
yes. Well, my favorite color is this aqua, so I wanted to incorporate that, and I just kind of played around with the packaging. I actually had when I first started, I had like a hot pink little bow in the center of that as well. But I had to quit doing that because of the business aspect of it. It was not something that I could get in large quantities, so I couldn't keep up with it. I was getting it at the local store, and they would run out, and then wasn't able to do it, so I couldn't do that. But I'm able to get all my boxes online at wholesale places and stuff, so that's been a really benefit to me, so I can get large packagings. But I wanted something that would stand out, that would be something that you could see and you would know exactly that these are my cookies. And I think the teal bow is it pops, and so does the box. And then I put my cookies, my cards. I went online and did my business cards, and it's just so much fun.
Sure. Let me take a look at the card.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how important even a business card is.
Yes.
Brochure, anything you put out about your business really has to be, and it's very classy looking.
Yeah, I wanted it to stand out. I wanted it to be and it was kind of my colors. It was the closest I could get. So, and then with the boxes as well, that's been like a trial and error too. But when I first started, I put the ribbon clear around the box, and like you'd have to pull it out like a present. But I kind of felt like, well, that wasn't very much fun, because then once you pulled it off, then you didn't have that pretty ribbon on the box anymore. So I made it so that way when you open it up, you can get the cookies, and yet the ribbon is still there every time you close. So you can still see it. So it's like you're getting a present every time you open that box. You're opening up a present. That's what I wanted it to be, like special.
Casey, you know what
So-
you just did, right?
What's that?
You opened it up to show us the ribbon, and you were correct. But
Yes.
you make the cookies. The scent of the
Yes.
cookies is now showing.
Yes,
So
it's
it's
very
incredible.
strong
It's,
scent. So I have here, this is my chocolate chip, this is my cream cheese thumbprint, and then I have my sticker noodle. So, Yes, you
I
could
think
try
we need, no,
one.
we need, I'm
Yeah.
not going to have one now, but we need to at least make sure that people can actually
Yes.
see. And what a nice gift. I mean, it presents itself very, very
Yes.
well. And you're correct. And when you shut it, you still have the ribbon.
Yes.
That's great packaging.
So this would be like a 3 dozen box, and this would be a box for a dozen.
Okay.
And then at the farmer's market, I package it in 6. So I would do it in this or 2. I sell it 2
Okay.
by 2s or by 6.
Did you have a variety at the market, though, or
I
just
had
this?
3 different kinds of cookies and then the muffins.
Okay.
But what I actually did, I love Pinterest. I'm really big into Pinterest. And so I was trying to get ideas of how to design my stand in a way that would stand out and look appealing. And so what I did was I bought these glass cookie jars, and I have the chalkboard little thing on hanging in the front with the label of whatever cookies in the jar.
Okay.
So I had a jar of chocolate chip, I actually sold oatmeal toffee, which is amazing, there, and then my snickerdoodles. And so I had those, and so people could get as many as they want, and I would just pull them out and bag them right there. Or I had some prepackaged in 6.
Great.
So, yeah.
Casey, you exemplify everything I teach in entrepreneurship. It's fun to interview with you and to learn from you, because what happens is we discuss this in my classes and in my programs, because you've got to start with an idea, you have to bring it to the market, and you have to learn from it. And every day is not going to be great. You learn just when going to the market and finding out you needed more.
Yes.
You learn all these things. You learn what icing you couldn't bring to the market.
Right.
So it's you're learning by doing.
Yes.
And that's a great sign of entrepreneurship. You're doing a great job, and keep doing it.
Thank you so much.
This concludes another episode of In Your Business. Today we met with Casey from Casey's Cookies. Casey has such an interesting story about the way she grew up. She wanted to be a mother. She became a mother. Now she's become an entrepreneur as well as a mother. Entrepreneurship has allowed her to have the lifestyle that she's really enjoying, because she gets to spend time with her family. And I think that's a precious thing. But she also wants to share what it is that she's doing, and so she's sharing Casey's Cookies in the community. She's not shipping, which means she's not going to a global market. She's staying in a local market. Local markets are very important to our future, and I appreciate everything Casey's doing as an entrepreneur. Thanks again for watching In Your Business.